Hey guys, Dave from Area Arachnids here. I thought of something I think that might kind of be cool for the month of March. It goes kind of in theme with anybody that watches college basketball. I'm not a huge college basketball fan, but I do enjoy the March Madness stuff, and that's kind of where I got that name the other day. But so what I'm thinking about is to coincide with that, I'm going to try and do one video every day for the month of March, and it'll go in that March Madness theme. So doing the March Madness video the other day with the stuff that I did there, and then of course the Brachypelma Baumgarteni video yesterday, and then the update, I'm going to count that as covering me for the first couple days. So starting today, we're going to do one video a day. They hopefully won't be too long. I'm kind of hoping that they'll just be kind of quick. You know, it can be anywhere from a species spotlight to you know, a late night tour, who's out during the evening, molt updates, feedings, you know, plans, stuff like that. The beginner species series or beginner keepers series is going to start. Shout out videos. So today is just going to be kind of simple. We're going to feed two tarantulas. Hopefully they'll both eat for us. One is the Eupalaestrus campestratus sling that molted a week and a half ago, and the other is Milagro, the Brachypelma hamorii, little one. We're going to feed those two, and then we'll do a quick shout out to somebody that I mean, I could do that shout out right now, and it's just somebody I've been watching a lot of their videos. I've gotten to talk to quite often. Always comments on my videos. Very good keeper. And that's Andrew's Tarantulas. Go check him out. I really, he's a very, very nice guy. He's got a really cool accent. He's a little self-conscious about that accent, but Andrew, don't be. He got in front of the camera for the tarantula tag, and it worked perfectly for him. He's born to be in front of the camera, so hopefully he does it more. So go check out Andrew's Tarantulas, and then stay tuned for feeding of the two little ones, Milagro, and the Eupalaestrus campestratus is not named. So let's see if we can figure out a name for that one. I'm actually thinking, because like I said before, the other one's name is the Dakota. I was trying to think of something, you know, over in that area, in the United States, of course, name-wise. So something in that, you know, Old West area, Wyoming, and the Dakotas, Montana, New Mexico, Arizona, places like that. We could come up with a cool name for that E. campestratus. It could be a city. That would be kind of cool to name it after a city, something different. I do have a tarantula named Phoenix, and I do have a tarantula named Aspen. So something, I'm thinking more something in the Wyoming area. And what I was thinking, because I worked in Wyoming for a little while years ago when I was doing construction electrical work. I was out there working on it was a coal plant. It was a state-of-the-art, something that's only been done once. It was done in South Africa, and they were building one here to test it. And it was a way to add molasses to coal to help it burn longer, to make it more efficient. So I worked out there for a little over a month. It was right after Katrina. So what was that, 2002, I think? It was a while back. My twins were little, real little. So I was thinking Casper. I think that would be kind of cool name for the guys. Tell me what you guys think. If you guys like the name, then that's what we'll use it for. Well, that's what the name we'll use for it. But Casper, Wyoming, we did go through there. But I was working up in Gillette is where I was actually working. Went through Cheyenne to deal with all my paperwork and stuff like that, and then had to drive up to Gillette. So I went from the bottom of Wyoming to the top of Wyoming, and it was the worst drive I ever had in my entire life. If anybody lives in Wyoming or has driven in Wyoming, and you go north or south to north or north to south, in the November, December, January area, you know, getting to that area where the plateaus are, that wind that's whipping across that highway there will take a car and move it from one lane to the other lane. It was like wrestling a bull the whole entire trip up there. It was a good, I think, 4.5, 5, 6 hour drive. it was miserable. My shoulders were sore from trying to hold the car in the lane. But let me know what you guys think about Casper, and what do you think about the idea of doing March Madness, so one video a day. So we'll just name them March Madness 1, 2. We already did 1, so we'll do March Madness 2 will be this one here. And then we'll go from there. Who knows what I'll do tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Well, it'll be kind of random. I won't plan anything. I'll just kind of wake up that day and figure out, let's do this today and go from there. Okay, so here is Milagro. So we'll start this wonderful March Madness feeding frenzy today. Well, that feeding frenzy of 2 tarantulas, but Milagro is Brachypelma hamorii. Again, I've told this story a million times. I got this little one from NetBugs from Anastasia with a couple other Brachypelma amelia, and I can't remember the other spider that came with it. I almost want to say it was a Grammostola pulchripes, which I think that's what it was. Is Cujo is the one that came too. I'm pretty sure that's what came in, but I'd have to go back and check. Anyway, this one came in with the other 2. It was all for dead. I thought 100% sure it was dead. I put it into a enclosure, which would have been the baseball cube, I think is what I put it in. Maybe it might even been something smaller at that time. I can't remember, because it was only a little over a ½ inch. Anyway, it wasn't moving. I went to work. I sprayed the substrate, so it was kind of damp. Left it alone, let it warm up, went to work, came home, and was walking around. So again, we called it our little miracle, and my friend sent me a message, said you should name it Milagro, which is miracle in Spanish, so that's what we did. So let's try and feed this little one and see. Usually pretty good eater if the roach doesn't go under the cork bark. We'll see if that, oh yeah, there we go, yep. I so pray that this one is a female. I would be devastated if this one was a male, just because Obi's a male and 90% of my other Brachypelmas are males. So, okay, so there is Milagro, and again, I found a pattern with this one here and Obi. They seem to molt relatively closely to each other within weeks. Which was kind of odd because they came from 2 completely different places. And they're, of course, different ages and different sizes, but it seems like they kind of mirror each other, as well as the Brachypelma baumgartenis usually molt within weeks of each other as well. So I'll be looking for my bigger one to possibly molt soon. And there was another, who were the other 2? Oh, the amelias. The 2 Brachypelma amelias seem to molt relatively close to each other. It's kind of really odd. I'll have to write down each one of their molts since the time I got them in, and then we can coincide and I can show you how close together they actually are molted. But let's move on. Again, I want to try to keep these videos under 10 minutes. So let's move on to the Eupalaestrus campestratus. So there's this one, Eupalaestrus campestratus. Again, we're not sure what it is. We're suspecting male, but hopefully I'm wrong. Again, I think Casper's a cool name for this one, so if you guys agree with me, just say yes, Casper's awesome, and we'll leave that name. Again, I don't name all of them. I haven't named any of my Chilobrachy species except for my Huahani is named Twisty after the Twisty the clown from American Horror Story. But and there's a story behind all that too. And I'll get into it maybe the next time we do a feeding with the Chilobrachys fimbriatus. But let's try, see if this one might want to, oh yeah, there we go. There's his first feeding after molt, which is just, I just love when they finally eat after they molt, especially when you try to feed them once and they don't want to do it. Fight it, that's it. Don't let it beat you, fight it. Holy moly. That was a struggle, little one. Look how pretty they are. You see the pink hairs on the abdomen and on the legs, just beautiful. And we're already getting our coloring. We haven't got the striations on the legs yet, which will come in the next molt, but I was really tickled that we got the coloring and the pink hairs in this molt. I didn't expect them, to be honest with you. Kind of looks like a Casper, doesn't it? I think so. Now, molted way down underneath, and the molt is still down there. There's no way to get it out of there because it's way towards the front of the enclosure. So the molt is actually sitting like right in this area. And of course you have all this dirt, and I don't want to dig it out. So this one will probably be out a lot now. It was down underground during its little pre-molt phase there, and then but before that it was generally out. So excited to have these Eupalaestrus campestratus. I wouldn't mind, you know, having a few more of these. They are pretty cool. And I'm really digging these South American big bulky spiders lately. I went through that little phase where I wanted all these Asian spiders, and you know, the Asian spiders are cool because the coloring is just absolutely phenomenal. The patterns are really awesome. The only problem with them is that you only see them a couple times a year, and that kind of gets disheartening. And I have a good friend that I talk to every now and then, and she agrees that, you know, having those big bulky South American spiders that, you know, they may burrow a little bit here or there, but or even the Mexican spiders, you know, Central American spiders as well. They may burrow now and then, but most of the time they're out and about. And man, I just so much rather see them and, you know, watch them eat than have a bunch of spiders that you're really just raising a box of dirt, and then you never know when they molt, how big they get. You know, I know if I had a good friend that had an Ornithoctonus tibialis that she only saw a few times, and it came out one day as a mature male, and it just kind of broke her heart because, you know, she only saw it a few times, and it is kind of disheartening. And I haven't seen mine since I put it in the enclosure. I've fed it a few times and prey disappears, but I've never seen a spider come up and get it. So, okay, well, that's it for today's edition of March Madness. I'll look forward to something tomorrow, or maybe even something late tonight. I may set up some enclosure so that we can see a little bit more, move things around so we can do a night tour and see who's out. And we'll do a probably a enclosure build for the Poecilotheria Miranda. We'll get that started this week, and we got to figure out who we're going to put in that one other longer enclosure, the doll display case that I got. I'm not sure who we're going to put in there. I also want to do something for the Opisthothalamus walbergi, the tribe-colored burrowing scorpion, as the little guy decides to go down into its cave. So again, thanks for watching. You know, really trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm really, you know, the subscribers are really piling in. I'm really thrilled. We're almost at 650, which is really cool because it was just a few weeks ago I was at 500. So thanks again for everybody's support and all your comments, and keep the comments coming. I've had a lot of new subscribers that I've been interacting with, and I appreciate that. I enjoy it. You know, keep the questions coming, and we'll see everybody soon.